Today I'm inside the new 2022 Tundra taking a deep dive into Toyota's latest infotainment software. This is what we're going to see in a bunch of new Toyota models and upcoming Lexus models as well. The software is entirely new, as are the display units. In this Tundra, we have a massive 14-inch color touchscreen LCD. There's also going to be an 8-inch version. Some vehicles may receive sizes in between. The new generation of Toyota's infotainment software was developed entirely in-house and entirely in the United States, which is definitely an interesting twist versus their previous software. One of the first things you'll notice with the new software is that we now have internet-connected navigation. So this particular vehicle has not been activated. If I were to hit this button, it would take me over to a page where I could subscribe to the navigation. It's going to download live maps from the Toyota database. One interesting design touch with this system is that there's no home screen like we find in other infotainment systems. Instead, we just have direct access buttons on the left side to things like navigation, our multimedia interface there. That's where we're going to find FM radio, AM radio, satellite, Sirius XM. Also, streaming audio sources will be found in there. You can use Apple Music or you can use Amazon Music. Two interesting touches there. There's a phone interface for your Bluetooth device. Also, vehicle information, things like trip information right there, current history, that sort of thing. There's also a vehicle alert option and then system settings down there at the bottom. Let's go ahead and pair a Bluetooth device. So I'll go here. Now I simply pull up my smartphone and then hopefully it will find it here. Here we go, a iPhone, there we go. And we'll authorize the connection and then authorize CarPlay. Go ahead and pair that. I will not allow the syncing of contacts here. Sure, set as primary device, enable CarPlay, why not? The phone will ask for authorization over here. I'll go ahead and say use wireless CarPlay, and then I'm just going to go ahead and put my phone on the wireless charge mat. Get a notice that the Qi wireless charging has started. Once that's connected, we find one of the largest smartphone experiences available in North America. This is a 14-inch screen just running CarPlay. I haven't been able to test Android Auto, but I suspect that the experience is largely similar. This display is very high resolution, so whether I'm over here on Google Maps and I pull way out there for the satellite imagery, everything looks really crisp. The system itself is very snappy, and this really makes good use of the CarPlay home screen here, where you can have the high-resolution Google satellite imagery over here, details for your infotainment system over there on the right. I think it's really obvious that with this particular home screen design, Apple is intending you to use the software on screens this size. If we go back to the Toyota menu, you'll notice we now have a CarPlay option on the top. So the menu system on the left side is dynamic based on the things you have connected and what you're doing with the system. I can go over here to navigation and see the factory navigation interface. This offers pinch to zoom. You can see it's definitely much snappier than before. Now, because I have no internet connection at the moment, not all the features in this system will function. So for instance, if I wanted to go to Dallas, just type that in here, and then it will say route calculation failed because I don't have access to the internet. I'm not sure how much offline data will be stored in this system. Obviously, there is some offline data here, but if I zoom out, you'll notice that we don't have offline data for outside of that area at the moment. So there is some internet connectivity required for the navigation function. So this is going to give you a little bit more safety, it seems, than your typical smartphone navigation interface, but not as much as a full-fledged on-vehicle navigation interface. The benefit here is that all the data is going to be more current, more live. Over here on the radio interface, you can see tuning the FM radio is pretty easy. You can just pop up by category there for your local FM stations, same with Sirius XM. Under settings, we have things like the driver profiles, which are adjustable. A lot of things can be linked to the driver profiles. Personal settings, Bluetooth, the general vehicle settings, Wi-Fi, display, sound and media navigation, all that sort of stuff is found right in here. Jumping into yet a different Tundra, I now am in one with a solid internet connection. Now you can see that I have active satellite information right there, traffic information. Things are definitely very snappy. If I go over here to find a destination, actually I'll try that again because it does do natural text. So find me a Chick-fil-A.
I found 15 results. The first is Chick-fil-A at Preston Road. Would you like to go to that one?
No. And now you can see how the navigation works. You can see we get options there, natural voice commands. Google is the source for the traffic information as well as the destination database in the system. Let's see how quickly it can calculate a longer route. Get me directions to San Jose, California. Let's see if it knows the way.
I found San Jose. Would you like to go now?
Yes.
Calculating route to San Jose. Proceed to the highlighted route.
There we go, 1,700 miles, 25 hours. That's actually fairly quick. According to the software engineers, this system supports full over-the-air updates for all of the various system functions, so the capabilities of this system will expand over time. One of the things that I really like is the native Apple Music and Amazon Music integration. It's a really handy touch, so if you don't want to have your device streaming it, or you don't want to use Apple Carplay or Android Auto, or you have a device that doesn't support those particular features, you have the ability to do that within the vehicle's native software interface. That's really an interesting twist. And lastly, the other thing that I really like is the size of the CarPlay integration, which is absolutely enormous. One thing that I've complained about in other modern infotainment systems, especially some of the Nissan infotainment systems, is that they only use a portion of the screen. Now, systems like the FCA Uconnect 5, where a small portion of the bottom or the top is reserved for system functions, that makes sense to me, but not large portions of the system like we find in the current generation Toyota Highlander, for instance, where a full third of the screen can't be used for smartphone integration. This software is going to be very different from that. We don't know exactly when this will find its way into other Toyota and Lexus products, but it's going to be in the new Tundra, and it's going to be in the new Lexus NX as well. Obviously, there's a slightly different Lexus version. If you want to know about that, be sure and stay tuned because I will have my hands on that very, very soon. In the meantime, be sure to check out my video of the new 2022 Tundra. I'll see all of you later. I touched on this a little bit earlier, but it's important to remember that a number of this system features depend on internet connectivity. The navigation system, obviously, the live traffic data, also streaming audio functions, and certain advanced voice commands. There are going to be a number of limited voice commands that will work with the system offline, but if you want the expanded capability of just being able to say, "Hey Toyota, take me to Starbucks," then that's going to require, obviously, internet connectivity, not just for the navigation database, but also for the destination database as well. The amount of connectivity that comes standard with your new vehicle will depend on exactly which model it is, which trim level it is, and which infotainment system it gets. For instance, if you were to shop for a brand new Lexus NX with its big 14-inch screen, basically the same screen that we see in the Tundra, and the Lexus version of this software, then you get 3 years of internet connectivity included in the purchase or lease of your vehicle. If, on the other hand, you get a Toyota Tundra and the big screen, you'll get 1 year of connectivity. After that, you're going to have to pay $16 a month in order to keep all of these features current. At this point in time, Toyota has not been overly specific about which vehicles will get trial periods and how long the trial periods will be outside of the new Lexus vehicles with the big screen getting 3 years, the Tundra with the big screen getting 1 year. I wouldn't be surprised if the smallest screen in the base truck didn't get any trial subscription at all. You probably will have to pay $16 a month in order to activate that. That may offend some people, but it makes logical sense because it helps drive the cost of the product down. And if you're not interested in navigation, if you simply want Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, then you don't need to pay for that option and you just get the kind of experience that you're interested in. But if you want that next level of connectivity with factory navigation, with the live traffic database, with the points of interest database, etc., and the more advanced voice command features, then you're going to have to pay extra. And it also makes sense that we're going to see Lexus vehicles with a longer trial period because leasing is a little bit more common over there, and that means that when you take a look at a Lexus NX with its new Lexus infotainment system, it's going to be standard for the term of your lease. If you want to know more about the new infotainment system in the 2022 Lexus NX, be sure and stay tuned. I'm going to have a separate video on that coming up over the next few weeks. It is a slight twist on what we see here in the Toyota Tundra. A lot of the features are similar, but they have laid out the software a little bit differently. Let me know what you think about all that down there in the comment section below, and of course stay tuned because I will have a full video on the Toyota Tundra coming up very, very soon. I'll see all of you later.